Tioga Speedway has always been one of the focal points of asphalt modified competition under the NASCAR banner, with many legendary names plying their trade on the asphalt half mile. Tonight on Empire Sports Network, you'll see twin 25s from the NASCAR Modifieds from the Tioga Speedway and special bonus coverage of the Tops Friendly Markets Limited Super 25 from the Memorial Day weekend competition at Oswego Speedway. It's all next on Empire Sports Network. Hello everyone, I'm Paul Small, joined by Tioga Speedway's Andrew Harpel, and here at Tioga, NASCAR Modified Twin 25s. Here's the starting lineup for this first feature event. John Helmer, Billy Maynard in row 2. We've got Ken Canestrari and Ed Conner, and some great drivers in this field tonight.
Absolutely. Row 4, Steve Zacharias and Tim Gulo.
Rodney Ayton and Jake Rout in row 5.
Row 6 is Rick Woods and Bobby Osgood.
We've got Lee Sherwood, Terry Zacharias in row 7.
Rookie Scott Blaskowski and J.R. Kent in row 8.
Young Zane Ziner, T.J. Potrabowski make up row 9.
A couple of veterans in George Kent and Tom Zacharias in row 10.
Chuck Winslow and Rusty Smith back in the 11th row.
12th row, Justin Ely and Dennis Gardner, with Larry Nye rounding out your field.
And you talk about your veterans. Larry Nye, I can't even remember how long he's been racing. It seems like he's been a staple at Tioga Speedway for ever, it seems.
Larry Nye, absolutely a veteran, as one of the rookies gets set to set the pace in.
For Swansboro, in the number 6, grabbing the advantage, a puff of smoke from one of the cars. They're a little distance back in the field as the pack takes off through turn 2, down the backstretch. The turns here at Tioga Speedway take up most of this racetrack. The straightaways are very short, and Andrew, they don't really straighten these cars out at all on the straightaway.
Not too much. The turns are sweeping, so they get through the turns. A lot of passing through the turns. As you can see, going into turn 1, room for side-by-side racing.
And there is a lot of that going on. One of the cars up there on the outside, Eddie Conran, about to get past, 3 wide, going into turn 3. Conran coming around the outside of Lee Sherwood in the number 95, trying to hang on in that top lane. Oh, a little precarious there in 4.
We've got J.R. Kent driving an unfamiliar number tonight in the 26. T.J. Potrabowski in the black 72. And look at Lee Sherwood thread the needle as he goes between Zane Ziner and Ed Conner.
Nice move there. Meanwhile, that's J.R. Kent up on the outside of Rodney Ayton in the number 12 now, trying to work the top lane as they come down off turn number 4, just ahead of them. Looks like the number 40 machine, they're going into turn 1, blocking J.R. in here on the outside.
Jake Rout in the 40 on the outside as Rocket Rod Ayton still runs the bottom. J.R. Kent looking for room, and as you notice right behind him, T.J. Potrabowski and Lee Sherwood, a couple of veterans with a lot of wins over the years, and we got trouble over in 3.
A couple of cars getting around here, and that'll bring out the first caution flag in this first of 2 25-lap races. And Andrew, we should mention that these 25-lap races, the drivers have some special rules that they have to go by as we look at some websites that you can check out here for the New York State Pavement Series. Andy, can you go over those rules?
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 twin races, basically the teams have to run the same 4 tires in both of the races. So it saves the team some money by not having to spend the extra on the tires, and they're allowed to switch them from corner to corner. But other than that, they basically have run the same car, same setup for both races.
Green flag is back out here in this first 25-lapper. Again, J.R. Swansboro up on the point. Here's a battle for the number 3 spot. Ken Canestrari working the outside, the number 17, and he's got 3rd.
Takes over 3rd from Billy Maynard, who runs now back in the 4th position. A good story in 2nd place. John Gage was a rookie 2 years ago. He took off his sophomore season last year, wasn't in racing, and returned in 2000, and has done a solid job in that 54.
Canestrari in the 17 within about a car length of them as they go down the backstretch. Swansboro's pulled out a nice 2-3 car length lead here. Gage gets a little piece of that, though, as they work their way in between the turns.
J.R. Swansboro remarkably has come out of the street stock division right into the open wheel modifieds, and that's a transition you don't see very often.
Now here's a battle for position. That's J.R. Kent working the bottom in the white car with the Dayglow orange number 26. Going to try to sneak to the inside of the 4 machine.
John Helmer's in that number 4, and another one of the rookies in the 07 Racing Collectibles car. That's Steven Zacharias.
Young Steve doing a good job there, and it looks like Helmer's is going to get caught up on the outside. Here's a couple of more campaigners go to the inside. There goes Jake Rout. Rodney Ayton, the number 12, also going to make his way by.
On a half mile, you don't see much drafting, but when you get out of line, you can go from 2nd to last in a lap.
Little love tap there. Lee Sherwood, the 95 car, following through as well. Got into the back end of the 15 in between turns 3 and 4. But these modified drivers are used to a little give and take.
Absolutely. There's a little push and shove out there, and it's any half-mile track, you're going to see a little bit of it as we get a good shot of the field going into turn 3.
Working their way up into turn number 3, pumping it up on the outside. That's Lee Sherwood. Going to take the top lane off turn number 4. Starting to work his way up, now up alongside Rodney Ayton as they work through turns 1 and 2. Sherwood still hanging on to that top lane. It's tough to drive the outside here. There's not a lot of banking here at Tioga.
No, it's a pretty flat speedway, but somebody like Lee Sherwood, who has a multitude of track championships at the track and the gears you pull at 95, makes the pass and moves his way toward the front.
Nice move there by Sherwood. TJ Piotrowski kind of blocked in right now in the number 72 as he tries to work alongside the 15 machine. Ayton just in front of him in turn number 3. They work their way back up into turns 3 and 4. Jake Rod now feeling the pressure from 2 cars coming off the 4th turn.
You know, Paul, we mentioned the rookies in the field. As you see Steven Zacharias again in that 07 with a battle with Billy Maynard and Lee Sherwood now on the outside. Rick Woods was the Rookie of the Year in 1999, and he's driving that 15 car who's in several battles out there right now.
Look at Lee Sherwood. Boy, he's found that second lane to his liking. Power move off turn number 4. Nips past the Billy Maynard car. Picks up another position on the racing surface. Flash back up here. We'll take a look at the front of the field. The gap has narrowed here as Canestrari closing in the second position within 1 car length of J.R. Swansboro as they bring it down off turn 4.
Talk about a difference in racing experience. You have a rookie that's come out of the Winston Stock division here at Tioga Speedway in the 6th. That's J.R. Swansboro. And then Ken Canestrari, 31 years of racing before his first feature win. And he's running the 2nd with now J.R. Kent closing in.
I tell you, J.R. came out of nowhere. They come off turn number 4. Oh, little tap. Hang on to it. And he can't do it. Canestrari does the 180 down into the infield grass. You can see him kind of slap the steering wheel. Oh, that's got to be frustrating for Canestrari running up there in 2nd, threatening for the lead. Folks, don't forget, next week, MBNA Cup Lights here on Empire Sports Network from Spencer Speedway. Racing action about to continue here as the green flag is ready to come back out at Swansboro. Kent, Gage, and Lee Sherwood, your top 4 cars as we get ready to roll back to green.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Swansboro can hold off J.R. Kent, who was your defending track champion from 1999, and he gets a good start off of turn 4.
They go back into turn number 1. Lee Sherwood immediately going to go out to the outside of the Gage 54 car as they work their way through turn number 2. Side-by-side battle for 3rd. Forget about it. Sherwood, nice move off the outside. Now drops it back down to the bottom lane.
Well, I can assure you, Paul, that J.R. Kent won't waste any time because he doesn't want to have to worry about Lee Sherwood behind him. If he's going to make his move for the lead, I'm sure it's going to happen quick.
Caution flag is out. We've got a car spun over in turn number 2.
That's the Blaskowski machine over there in turn 2 as the yellow flag comes out.
More after this. Knowing who's behind you.
Well, no matter what happens from here, J.R. Swansboro has done a tremendous job just leading this many laps for a rookie driver, but he's got a lot of heat behind him.
And through turn number 2, Lee Sherwood trying to set up J.R. Kent. It will not be as easy for Lee to run the outside like he did coming up through the field on J.R. Kent. J.R. knows how to make that car nice and wide, running just enough off the inside up to take that outside lane away for the moment.
Well, something that J.R. Kent has to keep in mind, if he commits himself to the outside, he could be giving up 2nd place. So it's going to be a chess match here to see what plays out during the remaining laps of this one.
Looks like J.R. Kent was thinking about going to the inside there on Swansboro. Built up some momentum, but had to check up a little bit. Oh, Swansboro slid high in turn number 4. There's daylight underneath for J.R. Kent. Sherwood's immediately going to tuck his car down to the bottom as well, and it looks like they're going to freight train Swansboro back to the number 3 spot.
We mentioned how quickly you can do the back pedal at Tioga Speedway, and J.R. Swansboro goes from 1st to 3rd. But nothing to feel ashamed about there is a couple of veterans doing a good job.
So J.R. Kent now takes the lead. Lee Sherwood in the 95 rides in 2nd. You can see there's absolute daylight behind them. These 3 cars have broken away from the rest of the field. And Swansboro now falls back a couple of car lengths. Looks like he bobbled a little in turn 2.
Well, now Lee Sherwood looks to the outside. And Paul, how many times have we seen this battle before between J.R. Kent and Lee Sherwood?
I tell you what, this is a great side-by-side battle here. Sherwood clawing his way up on the top lane. J.R. Kent keeping it down on the inside. They run down the backstretch. J.R. got a better launch off turn number 2 that time. But look at Sherwood. He can go in a lot deeper into the corners, it seems, than J.R. can.
Yes, he uses the outside to his advantage, but not able to make the run that time as J.R. got just a little wide. You can see the camera flashes as they go through the turns. What a great battle.
Back through turn number 2 now, about maybe a foot or 2 separating the 2 as they head towards turn number 3. The laps are rapidly clicking away here in this first 25-lap feature for the NASCAR Modified. Sherwood again swings it wide off turn number 4, trying to set that outside pass going into turn number 1.
He's making the move off of turn 2, and again, J.R. Kent stays at the bottom, but Lee Sherwood not able to get the run.
Sherwood will try this time in turn number 3. He's going to stay a little bit high on the racetrack, but now he's going to tuck it back in line. Coming down off turn number 4. Whoa, trouble up in turn 3. Car getting around. Oh, looks like that might have been the Billy Maynard car. Contact with Ed Conneran, the 76's Ziner, got up and over top of the Maynard machine. Canestrari also involved in this incident.
It also looks like Bobby Osgood was involved as we take a look at the leaderboard.
You've got Kent and Sherwood running 1 and 2. Swansboro still hanging on to 3rd, and TJ Piotrowski was able to break out of that bottleneck that he was stuck in earlier in the race. He's moved his way up to 4th, and that caution was a good break for both Swansboro and Piotrowski. because it'll allow them to close in on the leaders. 4 laps left to go in the green flies.
Piotrowski, a feature winner so far in 2000. He won the Spring Breaker a few weeks ago.
Off turn number 4. Boy, look at the getaway that Kent and Sherwood got. They picked up 3 or 4 car lengths right there on the start. Working through turn number 2, Sherwood about, again, a foot or so behind J.R. Kent as they work down the backstretch. Looks like he's going to try high in 3.
Paul, keep in mind, part of the strategy right now is these teams have to utilize these 4 tires in the next 25. So possibly Sherwood's looking to save some of that rubber for the next 25.
They work back through turn number 2. Sherwood went in high. Now trying to cut it down low off turn number 2. Oh, might have gotten a little tap on the back end of Kent. Now we'll go to the outside again in turn 3.
What a great race for the lead, and it shows you how diverse J.R. Kent is as he's driving a car that he's not used to and still leading the way.
Again, Sherwood stays up on the outside lane through turn number 1. Now he'll tuck it back in off turn number 2. He's trying to cross down to the low side, maybe get underneath Kent, but Kent's getting off the corners better. Sherwood's making it up going into the turns.
Look at them again, side by side, off at turn 4 as they come down the home stretch.
There's the checkered flag. Wow, what a finish. As Lee Sherwood fell just about a car length or less short of J.R. Kent and scoring the victory here in this first twin 25 for the NASCAR Modifieds here at the Tioga Speedway. Lee giving the thumbs up to J.R. as they went down the backstretch. That was some quality racing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, that's just got to be fun for the drivers running that close, and those two being as competitive as they are. J.R. Kent does it again with the win, this time in the 26.
Again, an unfamiliar car for J.R. Kent. Doesn't seem to matter much to him as he scores the victory after a hard-fought battle with Lee Sherwood in the last 4 laps of this one. It was a good old-fashioned 4-lap shootout to the finish. Kent gets the victory over Sherwood, Piotrowski, Swansboro, and his father, the Duke, George Kent.
JR, you've been giving him some directions already, talking about changing front to back tires?
Yeah, we're going to swap them around and, see if we can't get the car a little bit better. It ended up, I thought, maybe a little tight there, so we're going to swap the 2 tires.
The deal with switching cars tonight, this is the first time you've driven this car?
No, we ran it at Spencer last night, and we had twin 25s up there, too, and we ended up first and second in them. So, gosh, if we could repeat that, we'd be pretty happy.
And last night, a good run, but tonight you had to battle to get to the lead there.
Yeah, we did, and boy, I got to apologize to Ken Canestrari. We got together down here, and I know he comes here alone, and that was so not intentional, and that was I got a good run off, and he didn't, and it just, I scraped across him. That was a bad deal.
Well, you've got the lead, and the fellow that's been your nemesis here the past couple seasons, Sherwood, he showed you he was right there.
Yeah, these guys are all fast up through here, and it's a challenge every time you got to come up through.
Well, starting 6, a little bit of inversion, but not starting back as far as you did in the first 25.
No, this should be hopefully a little easier, but I don't know. There's a lot of tough guys here. We'll have to see how we work out.
Well, we'll let you get back to work and direct the crew. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Look at the rest of the order of finish. Rookie Steve Zacharias in with a nice 6th. Rick Woods in the number 15 came up to 10th at the end of the race.
John Helmers was 11th, and Ken Canestrari rebounded from that spin earlier in the race to end up 13th.
Bobby Osgood involved in that crash, finishing in the 16th spot. John Gates dropped back after running up front early.
Back there you see where Zane Ziner was involved in that wreck, as well as Billy Maynard, and disappointing finish for Rusty Smith.
So the modified drivers will take a break, and while they're getting ready for the second 25, we've got the Oswego Limited.